The Ticket.
All right, what's going on? Welcome back. Idaho Sports Talk, Prater in the Ballgame right here on KTIK Sports Radio. The Ticket kicking off hour number 3. And again, if you're just joining us, this is concert week. So every hour this week, we're going to give you an opportunity to win free concerts. This hour, how about the Counting Crows? One of the great rock bands, certainly of the 90s. And this time, they are coming to Boise in September, and we'll give you a chance to win Counting Crows tickets later this hour. Prater is out for the week. My guest host coming off the bench, entering his 16th year as the Boise State football and basketball play-by-play broadcaster, Bob Beeler. Good stuff today so far, Bobby.
We've had some good ones, and our guest that's coming up is somebody that is a national champion.
How about this? We are joined right now by, if he's not in the Borah Athletics High School Hall of Fame yet, he will be someday. And how about this stat? No prep has ever ran a faster mile in the history of this state than our guest, Nathan Green of the Washington Huskies, the 1,500-meter national champion. Nathan, welcome to Idaho Sports Talk, brother, and congratulations, you little speed demon.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Tell me about the race. I think it was 3 minutes, 42 seconds, and 78 hundredths of a second. You are the national 1,500-meter champion, NCAA champ. Take me through the race. What clicked for you? Why were you the national champ?
Obviously, that there's a lot of stuff that goes into being a national champion, and I think that, oh man, it's kind of hard to explain. Sorry, it just, I think that what made
talk to me.
Sorry,
Goose.
I'm not, talk to me, Goose.
Come on, Goose.
What helped me become the national champion is, and why it was me this time, was because my head coach Andy Powell just primed me perfectly to be in this position. I mean, we put in months and months of training and a lot of really hard work and a lot of different kind of PT stuff that we do and mobility work and a lot of ups and downs through the season. But and it was just a culmination of all the stuff that my teammates have also helped me realize and help me accomplish throughout the season. I mean, it wasn't just one thing that clicked. It was a whole bunch of different things that all came together for a perfect storm moment.
Well, I think maybe also what Johnny was getting at, Nathan, is kind of take us through the race. The 1,500 is basically 4 laps. So where were you at each position? What was the strategy? And did you win holding off, or did you win by coming from behind?
I definitely won by coming from behind. I'm not somebody who can, lead from the front and then finish in the front. I'm somebody who has to kind of hang back, reserve everything that I got, and then just rely on a lot of speed to come through the last 400, 300, and 200 meters to really solidify a win. So, we were getting off the line, and we had expected the Oklahoma State runner, Fouad Massoudi, he's from Morocco, and another Moroccan named Anas Asai from South Carolina. Sorry, we expected them to take it from the gun and just kind of try to run the kick out of us. And a kick is your closing finishing speed, and they didn't. They kind of hung back, and everything kind of slowed down. And with a race like that, where it is slowed down, it really comes down to who has the greatest leg speed and who's in just the right position to strike. And we're coming around the first lap, and I just kind of settled into the pack. I'm sitting in probably 4th or 5th. Joe Wascom and Luke Hauser, my 2 Washington teammates, they were kind of sitting in 3rd and 6th. We're just kind of bouncing around in the middle pack. And the North Carolina guys, Ethan Strand and I think another guy's name is Jake. They were running in front, and they just kind of took it out, and I was just following. I think the greatest thing that Andy's kind of taught me is how to stay calm in the middle of a pack when I'm getting hit and I'm getting spiked and I'm getting kind of bumped around. And we're coming through the next lap, come through 800 in 205. 205 isn't outrageously fast, but it's not relatively slow. But that's kind of the race that I personally really, really it plays to my strengths for sure. And it was at that moment that I knew that it was anybody's race, especially between us three Washington guys. I mean, me, Luke, and Joe were primed for that kind of race, and that's really what we look for. Like that's where you can do a lot of damage when you are like one of the speed based guys instead of a strength based guy. And we come through the like second to last lap, and we're still like very bunched up, and we're still just like everyone's tied up, and it's anybody's race. But then the bell lap comes, and I guess like coming down the home stretch of the bell lap, I started to like pull up on Adam Spencer, who was the Wisconsin guy. He's from Australia, and he kind of like pushed up to the front, and I started to come around him because I was really like winding up and I was getting really antsy, and that wasn't really part of the race plan. I can hear my coach from the side like you need to wait, like wait for it, and I pull back and I tuck in behind him. I find the rail again, but then everybody's coming around me because they realize like this is their only chance. And as
Yeah.
soon as they start to push around, I kind of tense up for a second, but then I let go and I relax, and I realize that there's still a lot of race left to run. And with 300, like there's a little bit of bumping, but there's like some space, and Joe's to my right, and I know that Joe's move is to go from 300 out. And I say like I set out to him, I was like, go now, and he zips up in front of me, and he starts pushing to the front. And as he's pushing to the front, I'm following him, and Luke's following me. And there's a moment like I kept getting like kind of cut off from my move because I wanted to move to the outside so I could push out with 200 left, start pushing up, and then with 100 left, I'd have the open lane to just gun it. And I kept getting like boxed in by that Anas Asai, Moroccan of South Carolina, really great racer. I mean, that is the smartest move. It's just kind of box people in.
Yeah.
And but the lane just kind of split open for a second. It is a legal move to just kind of like nudge someone over. So I like kind of like put my hand on his hip and like gave him a little push, and then shot out from under his nose, and then just took off. I mean, there was 150 left, and you can, if you watch the race again, like I gained all the ground that I lost on Adam with letting people go. And then in the last 80 meters, you could just see like the separation of me and Joe. And Joe kind of got bumped by Adam. That kind of halted his momentum. Still a legal move to like get in somebody's way and like kind of bump them and like impede on them. Like he did everything right. Like I would have done the same thing. I know Joe would have done the same thing. But fortunately enough, like Joe is just a really, really great racer, and he's really strong and fast. And he caught up all that ground, started gaining on me, and in like the last 5 meters, I like kind of let off the gas, realized I had won, and came across the line, the new national champion.
Damn, Nathan, you need to go into broadcasting or something, man.
Yeah.
I feel like I experienced that whole race. Before I get to my next question, just real quick, Nathan, how many times have you watched the race since you won it?
I haven't at all. I just
You haven't
remember
watched
it.
it
I haven't
once?
watched it at
Okay.
all. No.
That was all from his head, Bob. It felt to me like, oh, this guy's probably watched it 25 times since he did it.
Yeah.
We're talking with Nathan Green. Reason we're talking to him, he's a Borah High graduate. He's the NCAA champion at the 1,500 meters, just a sophomore. So he has a lot of races left in him. When he was in high school here in Idaho, maybe some of you remember him. No one's ran a faster mile in the history of this state than our guest, Nathan Green, when he was in high school. And I guess going into this race, I know you have a lot of confidence. I can tell from talking to you, but did you have a confidence factor? Like you thought you were going to win this? Like if this was a horse race, were you the favorite, so to speak, Nathan?
I certainly wasn't the favorite, but going into this race, like Joe Wascom won last year's 1,500-meter title, and Luke Hauser, my other teammate that was also in the race, he won the indoor mile record, or he had the indoor mile title. And being around those guys and knowing that they've done it, and like training with them and being around them all the time, like I definitely knew that it was possible for me to do it. And my coach, like through all the training that we've done, like he was like honestly, like you can do this if you really put your head down and just keep working and do all the ugly things that nobody else wants to do. Like I'm not saying we lift a lot because we're distance runners, but like through like the bands and core and like the different kind of deadlift techniques and like all like the small things that not everyone wants to do. If I just kept my head down and kept working on those, like I'd be able to do it. And my coach Andy Powell is undoubtedly like the greatest coach of all time. He used to coach at Oregon, and he's coached 17-time national champion Edward Cheserek, who's now a professional with Skechers. He's coached Sam Prakel, current professional with Adidas, Johnny Gregorek, who's a world medalist or a world finalist. He's a professional for A6, like Matthew Centrowitz, a gold medalist, and like a former Oregon Duck, and like he's undoubtedly the greatest. So when he says you can win, you can win. He knows better than you know, and he walked me through the races, and like I don't really do a whole lot of thinking. He just kind of does it for me. So if I just follow what he says down to a T, like that's the outcome.
So Nathan, what's the future hold? As Johnny said, you were a sophomore this year, repeating, obviously easier said on June 12th than it will be next June, because I don't know, is Joe Wascom back? He might have
we return everybody.
If you don't win this year, he might want his championship
Yeah.
back. But what do you see for yourself, both with the Huskies? I mean, is Olympics in your future, you think?
Yeah, I mean, I plan on finishing out my career with the Huskies. I plan to be here for 5 years and get a master's degree in real estate and minoring in business. And yeah, Joe Wascom's returning, Luke Hauser's returning, and as far as like who's gonna win and like who's like kind of winding up, like it really is so far away, like we can't say. But like if it's me, if it's Joe, if it's Luke, I'm not too upset as long as the trophy stays in house.
So
Like
what are the practices like? I mean, if you have three guys, how many were in the race? 16 or 8, or what was the? I mean, from
12 guys.
12 guys in the race, 3
Yeah.
are on the team. So what are the races like amongst the 3 of you? And what's the breakdown? Do you guys split it like a third, if we in practice race the 1500?
We all have our own separate race plans that like kind of play out differently, but I think Andy does that on purpose because we all like flow together. Like Luke is more of like a strength-based miler. Like he has a lot more miles that he's ran under. Like he does like 80, 90 miles a week. Joe does like 70 to 80 miles a week. So Joe kind of is like on like the middle, in between me and Luke, where like he can go from like 400 meters out. But I run like 50 miles a week. So I'm like more like the speed-based miler. So I'll go from 300 out. But like
Nathan,
all our plans kind of like go together.
I
And
don't
practice is
drive.
like,
I don't drive 50 miles a week. I don't
yeah,
know if maybe I do it coming to work, but not till I get to about Thursday do I reach the
yeah.
50-mile mark. Look at this guy, Nathan Green, national champion, 1,500 meters, Washington Huskies, Borah Lions. He's with us right now. Now, big time in college athletics now, and I don't know where it trickles down or what it matters with track and field, but NIL, name, image, likeness,
Okay.
Nathan Green, like, is there any opportunities for you as a national champion? I mean, this is the world we're living in now. Dude, you're a national champ, 1,500 meters. Are you going to get paid by somebody somewhere? Nathan, can we put
I
some money
mean,
in your pocket?
the NIL stuff is it's a little bit complicated as to like how it can work and how people do it. But I mean, it's hard to say like whether or not I'll get paid because a lot of these deals haven't been finalized. But after winning a national title, yeah, it's very likely that like stuff will develop well. It's just a
Love it.
matter of like what companies reach out, and like I've reached out to companies before, and I actually have an NIL deal with a taco truck here in Seattle, and
Yes.
I get a free meal every week. Just got to post a picture of the food on my Instagram,
Beautiful.
and yeah, and it's a good deal.
I love
Yeah,
I love
there have been companies that have started to reach out, but
Yeah.
it's a slow moving process.
Nathan, we appreciate your time. I'll leave you with this. I mean, can you go to the Olympics? Is that the ultimate goal? Can we,
Yeah.
are you on pace possibly? You think you got a shot? Nathan Green, Borah High School in the Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is possible. We have the team to do it, and I have the coaches and the training staff to make me an Olympian. It just depends on like how healthy I am next year and how bad I want it. And if I have it my way, I will be an Olympian next year, and I'll continue to push through the circuit. And yeah, it's going to be a good
Well,
year.
don't eat too many damn tacos there, Nate. I
Yeah,
mean, sour cream, a lot of add-ons on those tacos can make it a little more challenging. All kidding aside, hey, we're
yeah, of
really proud
course.
of you. I know our producer JP John Patrick, huge Borah Lion fan. I know you know
Yeah,
his son. You guys went to school together. Really cool
yeah.
connection there, and keep on winning. Bow down to Washington.
Bow down to Washington. Go Dogs.
Appreciate you. That's Nathan Green, Bob. This guy runs a mile in less than 4 minutes, dude. Think about that.
Yeah.
Bob, I stay on the toilet longer than that. What? I mean, seriously, this guy could run a mile quicker than I can do my damage in the lavatory.
I'm trying to think one lap. If he had to run his 4, I bet he might be able to finish his 4 before we got to 1. He might lap us a couple times.
Bob, he couldn't do that to me. I could finish a lap quicker than he could run a mile 4. Yeah. Maybe not.
All right,
2,
what about
though.
a 2?
No
2
way.
laps.
I don't think I could do 2.
No.
I don't know. Do you guys think I could do that? I could run 1 lap quicker than he runs 4, right? Come on, man. I'm only in my 40s. I can get this done. Bob, NBA Finals party in Denver tonight. But first, who wants to go see the Counting Crows? JP, Concert Week. Caller number 9-208-424-9300. If you're lucky enough, you're going to get 2 tickets